And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the completion of day 15 of the Senate impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. And also, this also ends the statements or the examination of COA witness Ms. Zailene Del Campo.
Tapos na. Yes.
Tapos na, including the interjections.
Yes, yes.
Attorney Chris, we saw a lot of things happen today, no, during the examination and cross-examination and redirect.
Yep.
Let's, with all of these things that that need to be discussed, let's start with the joint circular.
Yeah.
There were again there was again a continuation of the discussion with regard to what was or what is allowed and what is not allowed based on the actual information indicated in the joint circular.
Yes.
And related to this, the Counsel for Defense also made some statements and asked the witness to read certain provisions of a previous circular with regard to the treatment of confidential funds and intelligence funds.
Yes.
Attorney Chris, would you mind providing our audience with further elaboration lang on the significance of that, on the JC itself?
JC 2015-01. It's still the very it's the central rule in Article 1 so far. Kasi dito umiikot, mga kaibigan, kung paano ang tamang paggamit o paggasta ng confidential funds na nakahalagay sa Article 1 ng Articles of Impeachment, nagkakahalaga ng 612.5 million. Itong buong maghapon na to, it was devoted to cross-examination, redirect, and recross interjection. Pero mapapansin natin, the bulk of the questions, the bulk of the issues today is on that joint circular.
Yes.
Pansin kasi natin, kaya umiikot doon dahil both councils, magkabilang panig, they have their own interpretation of the joint circular. For the benefit of our listeners na hindi familiar doon sa joint circular, mga kaibigan, yung joint circular na ito ay kaya tinatawag siyang joint dahil sari-saring ahensya ho ang nag-issue nitong circular na to. Ulitin natin, sila Department of Budget and Management, si Department of Interior and Local Government, Department of National Defense, Government Commission on GOCCs or Governance Commission on GOCCs, at saka yung Commission on Audit. This is basically a rule issued by various departments, even the Commission on Audit. Pero alam natin lahat na the power to legislate, isa lang ho, sa tatlong ahensya ng three branches of the government, executive, judiciary, legislative department. We only have one branch of the government in charge of legislating. But that does not preclude agencies, kagaya ng itong nabanggit natin, to have their own rules. But yung rules na yan, they do so for their implementation, for the discharge of their function. And sa batas, sa aking pagkakaalala, ito ay papasok sa delegation. Dinedelegate ang legislative power sa ibang ahensya. So in this case, what's supposed to be gagawin ng legislative department, i-delegate niya yan dun sa mga ahensya na ito. Ang problema, yung delegate, parang sa tingin ko, dahil nga ang daming tanong, ang daming mga loopholes, or void dun sa joint circular. Kaya nga tayo nagkakaroon ng mga pagtatalo na ganyan eh. Dahil meron talagang mga bagay na left for further interpretation. Ano yung mga yon? Ito na. Example, madami tayong nasaksihang pagtatalo pagdating sa evidence of success.
Yes.
Evidence of success ng intelligence operation. Bakit? Kasi mga kaibigan, na-discuss kanina, merong mga bagay na pinapayagan pagkakagastusan. Kung yan ay pambayad ng reward,
yes,
kung yan ay pambayad ng impormasyon, magkaiba pala yun. Payment of reward, payment of information, these are two different things, both of which are legitimate expenses or confidential funds or intelligence funds. Ang pinagkaiba niyan, mga kaibigan, ay yung payment of reward, kailangan pala, ito lang pala ang bukod tanging nangangailangan ng evidence of success ng intelligence operation. So, ibig sabihin yan, pag payment of information, hindi kinakailangan. Pag payment of reward, kinakailangan. Pero papansin natin, kahit yung defense at saka prosecution kanina, hindi masyadong na-emphasize yung difference between the two. Kahit ako, nung umpisa, parang hindi ko masyadong binigyan ng pansin yan. Pero kanina nabanggit, tinanong ni Presiding Officer Jesus Escudero, magkaiba pala yan. So, ganun pa man, kahit magkaiba pala yan, hindi nasagot kung ano ba talaga ang klarong evidence na kinakailangan para mapatunayan na successful yung operation.
Yes.
Hanggang ngayon, palaisipan pa rin yan. Although may sariling posisyon ng prosecution, may sariling posisyon ng defense, it's still doubtful. It's still doubtful. And bottom line, parang we're still at the mercy of the auditor to determine if the operation is successful or not.
There was even a point earlier about yung hypotheticals that were presented as it pertains to yung definitions or parameters provided in the joint circular. Let's go into that for a bit.
Okay, hypothetical. So I think this happened during the time when Attorney Christine Ferrer was questioning her about hypothetical scenarios pertaining to how the joint circular will apply. So nagtatanong ko, mga kaibigan, ng mga iba't ibang sitwasyon, may patungkulo kung paano i-apply ang joint circular. Inobjekan siya.
Yes.
Inobjekan siya
ni Attorney Kapunan.
Inobjekan siya rito ni Attorney Lorna Kapunan. Pero sa aking pananaw, in the first place, inungkat natin kung ano opinion ng auditor, kung paano ipapatupad, paano i-interpret itong joint circular na to.
Yes.
Opinion niya yan. Siya ang nagsabi, opinion niya yan.
Correct.
Although she used the word professional judgment or she's guided by her experience, but at the end of the day, opinion yan.
Of course.
Okay. So, inumpisahan natin.
Dahil wala naman kasi doon sa JC yan eh.
Kahit anong, it's the same banana. Professional judgment, still opinion. Still an opinion. Pinayagan natin, kung pinayagan mo siya maghayag na opinion niya on direct, pag kinross mo yan at magtatanong ka ng hypothetical scenario, ang purpose lang naman niya dyan is to elicit how the auditor, how Ms. Del Campo would be interpreting the joint circular. Sa akin, technically bawal ang hypothetical question sa regular courts.
Yes.
Bawal yan. Pero like we mentioned, we're not supposed to be very technical here in the impeachment proceedings. And nasimula na yan. Naghahayag na siya almost half of the time kung ano opinion niya, kung paano i-interpret ang joint circular.
Yes.
Pag tinanong mo siya ng hypothetical para malaman, matest kung how she's interpreting it, then the impeachment court should allow that. Yun na nga, ito Mike. Malalaman natin ang evidence of success according to Ms. Del Campo, dapat may nahuli.
Yes.
So hanggat walang nahuli,
may nahuli or may nakulong.
Yes. May nahuli at bago yun. Kasi meron kasing huli ka pero walang kulong. May ganun.
Correct.
Whatever that. Yes. So sabi niya, walang nahuli, there's no evidence of success. So that's
But this was also pointed out by in today's hearing na it was being asked, is it defined? Is it stated there in the JC?
Yeah. She was trying to ask that, no? So, natatabunan. There were objections from the prosecution. Actually, if you ask me, it could have been easily been brushed aside by the presiding officer. In certain instances, binabrush aside niya. In some instances, medyo out of leeway na lang din sa magkabilang panig supposedly. But
we saw this during the introduction by Senator Judge Padilla when he was highlighting yung mga instances based on different government agencies' data, no? Na yung sa mga recruitment, the findings based on the investigations were minors were being recruited. Diba? So again, parang it seemed like, again, to me, non-lawyer, it seemed like he was trying to highlight yung ginagawa ng witnesses or what the witnesses were able to divulge or to share during the examination and in cross-examination, na many of the things were based on their judgment.
Yep.
Diba? Hindi based nga on things that the JC is silent on.
So yun na nga, para doon tayo nagtatalo kanina. Ang evidence of success ba, mga kaibigan, ay kinakailangan mayroong nahuli.
Yes.
No? Ang pananaw ng depensa, catching someone or putting someone behind bars or prosecuting someone, it's not an evidence of success. No? Doon sila nagtatalo. And the joint circular is actually silent.
Yes.
Joint circular. That's a problem. Why? Because there should be a valid delegation talaga of legislative power. And yun yung iniiwasan natin dito. It's not for... So we do that so that the delegate or the person applying it would simply have no discretion to... it leaves no discretion as to what would be considered, what would not be considered. Kasi yun na nga, nabanggit yun, it's prone to abuse. Not only by the person entrusted, not only by the agency entrusted with confidential funds, but also by the primary agency authorized to conduct audits.
Yes.
So parang nangyayari, nagiging arbitrary yung compliance. So parang nagiging arbitrary yung pag-check ng compliance dahil walang definition kung ano ang valid evidence of success that would warrant the payment of rewards. So medyo problemado doon. Kung problemado tayo doon, iyan ba ay sapat na basihan para ang ikalawang pinakamataas na opisyal ng bansa ay matanggal?
Yes.
Diba? So yan ay isa sa mga palasip. Actually kanina yung mga interjections ng ating mga senador apart from the question of guilt or innocence ng Vice President, yung very substance of the joint circular itself, pang sinasabi nila, parang kulang tong joint circular natin.
During the interjection of Senator Judge Lacson, I think he was trying to go in the direction of what else or what more can the auditors do with regard to, specifically yung ICFAO, with regard to determining whether or not in the course of their audit, they've exhausted all possible na actions or taken all possible actions. If you recall, he was saying did you open the vault or did you request to open the vault to determine if there was, since there was a question of, is this person a real person with regard to your policy that the funds should be received by an actual person, and the fact that there was the alleged use of these names or these fictitious names.
Yes.
Then, di ba he was saying, Senator Judge Lacson was saying, pwedeng i-check yun.
Yung mga kaibigan, yung binanggit ni Mike na interjection ni Senator Panfilo Lacson ay tumutukoy ho yan sa sections 4.15.2 at saka 4.15.3 kung saan sinasabi na yung mga disbursement documents dapat naka-sealed envelope nakalagay sa vault ng opisina ng Special Disbursement Officer.
Yes.
No? So may admission po si Miss Del Campo na kanilang unit, ang ICFAO nung panahon na yan, they did not inspect the vault. Neither did they request for authority from the superior officers to have clearance to inspect the vault. Is this material? Ito pa mga kaibigan kasi mababanggit natin, naka-premise ho not only si Ms. Del Campo, si Mr. Wamil, Attorney Wamil, they mentioned, they used the word compliance audit lamang sila.
Yes.
Ano ibig sabihin ng
repeatedly,
compliance audit? They are only confined to these documents submitted to them in conducting the audit. So based on what was submitted to them, they will say na irregular or regular ang disbursement, ang transaction. Pero ang nakakalito dito, nakalagay sa 4.15.2 and .3, pwede nilang silipin yung vote.
Yes.
Ito pa, Mike.
If not sila mismo, they can request their superior. They can elevate it, di ba? To be provided either access or provided the information through the review of their superior with regard to the content of that
Tama.
sealed envelope or document, no?
Yung matter on 4.15.2 at saka point 3, latter na yan, patapos na yung hearing ngayong araw na to.
Yes.
Pero doon ko napansin, parang medyo nalito ako. Bakit? Kasi sinasabi nila compliance audit, hanggang dokumento lang kami.
Yes.
Malinaw yan, that's clear
Yes.
enough. Pero may sinasabi din siya kanina, mga kaibigan, natanong si Ms. Del Campo during redirect, sasabi niya, the Commission on Audit is not precluded from requesting additional supporting documents for their proper evaluation.
Yes. Oo.
So if they're not precluded, bakit hindi sila nag-request for supporting documents, for example, for the identities ng
Exactly.
borrowing the term used by Senator Raffy Tulfo? Kasi yung sinasabi ni Ms. Attorney Capunan, mga fun names.
Yes.
Pero mas accurate yung term ni Senator Tulfo, Kengkoy.
Oo.
So bakit hindi nila verify yung mga Kengkoy na pangalan? Ganun palang they weren't precluded from requesting additional supporting documents per Ms. Del Campo's admission.
Yes.
And also in sections 4.15, point 2, and point 3, that they can request to access the sealed envelope in the vault of the Office of the Special Disbursement Officer to follow up on matters on the Kengkoy names being used for
Pero
the
legally,
disbursement.
Attorney Chris,
Oh.
if let's say they, hypothetically, or let's go to that hypothetical, kung
Objection.
kung in-elevate nila yan sa superior nila because they did not have access as the primary auditor for ICFAO in evaluating or auditing, the confidential funds and the intelligence funds. Tapos, natignan ng superior nila, etong mga Kengkoy na names na to, etong Kengkoy name 1 corresponds to this actual person na number 1 dito sa listahan. Confirm na meron. Hypothetically na confirm na meron.
Okay.
Pero AR pa rin yung ginamit na submission.
Acknowledgement receipt.
Should that be enough or would that be enough to allow the auditor to say, okay, yes, tama, nag-receive, compliant naman. In terms of yung pag-receive pa lang,
Yes.
Now, we're not talking about kung paano yung ginastos.
So,
in terms of talagang totoong tao yung binigay, then that question will be
put,
done.
Kung nagsaliksik pa sila ng mas maigi, hindi sana tayo humantong na sa ganitong sitwasyon.
But still keeping with an AR na walang official receipt, of course.
I don't know, kasi nga, di ba, medyo ang dami pang ang loopholes ng joint circular.
Yes.
Unang-una, yung acknowledgement receipt, minsan ginagamit din nila yan as proof of payment for information.
Of course.
Na hindi kinakailangan, as per testimony kanina,
exactly.
hindi kinakailangan ng evidence of success.
Yes.
So, pero kinakailangan lang yung evidence of success sa payment of rewards. Di ba?
Right.
So, medyo, mga kaibigan, kahit ako na naguguluhan ako, medyo okay, ando na tayo. May mga butas, not only sa joint circular, but sa compliance.
Yes.
Pero yung compliance, basic sa due process yan eh. Paano nating tayong mga ordinary na citizens, o kahit tayo agencies entrusted with confidential funds, how can we keep track with rules? If the rules itself, malabo, hindi natin, and ang pag-interpret
And
po
if it's
niyan,
subject to everyone's interpretation.
ang pag-interpret po niyan, mga kaibigan, ay hindi dapat left doon sa auditor lamang.
Yes.
Kaya nga, napag-usapan din kanina, at the end of the day, although pwedeng iakyat yan after ng notice of the disallowance sa Commission on Audit proper, pwede pa rin mag-resort to the Supreme Court. Final arbiter, kasi talagang at the end of the day ang mag-i-interpret ng lahat ng rules ng batas ng magre-resolve ng controversy sa atin Korte Suprema. Yun nga lang nagkaroon diyan ng variation o nagkaroon ng issue diyan. Ano ba ang mode of appeal or ano ba ang mode of resort to the Supreme Court? Yan ba ay apela? Kasi yan ba ay separate na kaso o certiorari ang tawag nila nila attorney. Ano pinagkaiba nun? Mahalaga bang i-distinguish yung appeal? Mga kaibigan, pag sinabi ko kasing appeal, hindi pa tapos yung nagsimula sa ibaba. Pag apila, nagpasya na yung sa ibaba, inakyat sa taas, inakyat pa further, ang tawag doon appeal, hindi pa tapos yung buong kaso. Pero kapag certiorari, like in this case, sa Supreme Court, it's via certiorari under Rule 64 relative to Rule 65,
Yes.
certiorari. Ang ibig sabihin nun, mga kaibigan, pagdating sa Commission on Audit proper, dyan ho sa head office, pagka natapos ho yan, naging final na ang decision, final na yon and executory.
Yes.
Pero ang pagpunta sa Supreme Court, that's a separate civil case, but it's not appeal. That's not part of the process going up to this Commission on Audit proper. It's a separate civil action,
Yeah.
which means the decision of the Commission on Audit proper, it's final and executory. Yun yung pinagkaiba ng appeal na diretsong isang kaso lang yan pataas at saka na ang certiorari, which is a separate civil action doon sa ginawa ng Commission on Audit proper. Pero eto, sinasabi nila mga kaibigan kanina sa aking pagkakaintindi, hanggang sa ngayon, na-bring up na yan kung kailan patapos yung hearing natin.
Correct.
Malinaw.
Correct.
Hanggang
Yeah, towards
sa
the
ngayon,
end. Yes.
wala pang notice of final decision.
Yes.
Ano ba yung notice of final decision? Yan ho yung kung final na yung decision ng Commission on Audit
Doon ako
proper.
medyo na-confuse, attorney. The past several days, narinig natin paulit-ulit final na. Especially kay Attorney Wamil when he
Yeah.
was the witness.
Ah.
Paulit-ulit na final na, final na, final na. And then ngayon, somebody else from COA, ICFAO, sinasabi, yes, sa kanila, in terms of COA, final na. But she stated kanina, na hindi pa naman exhausted yung mga remedies. Meron pang other remedies.
Well, may iba pang remedies at saka wala pang ang notice of final decision.
Yes.
Pero yun na nga, balanse na lang natin. Ang ini-insist or ang tinetestify naman ni Ms. Del Campo is sa notice of decision pa lamang, mga kaibigan, andun na yung obligation to restitute
Correct.
na
Correct.
may obligasyon ng magsole.
Yeah, which is consistent with what Attorney Wamil said. Andun na dapat isole.
Nandun na yung obligation na magsole. Kahit na iaakyat pa yan, pwede pang iakyat yan sa Commission Audit, nandun na yung obligasyon magsole. Ang sunod na tanong, kung may obligasyon na magsole, na pwede pa palang iakyat sa Commission on Audit, una, na wala pang notice of final decision,
Yes.
pangalawa, na pwede pa palang through a separate civil action of certiorari, iakyat Supreme Court, pangatlo, pwede na bang mag-arise ang prima facie presumption ng personal misuse dahil nagkaroon ng, ano nga ba yun, exact word niyan, hanapin natin, failure of the accountable officer to liquidate. So meron na bang failure to liquidate under the... You see, we have reached, we'll be having our 15th trial date already on Monday. Wala pang linaw. Although, syempre, trabaho naman talaga na magkabilang panic to argue, ano. Pero kung ako ang nanonood na ordinaryong mamamayan, parang hindi pa 100% convinced na dapat meron na ba talagang malinaw na failure of the AO to liquidate. Kasi given na nga na meron pang notice of final, wala pang notice of final decision, na meron pang resort to the Commission on Audit proper, na meron pang further resort to the Supreme Court via certiorari Rule 65, 64. It's not very clear that the prima facie presumption that the accountable officer has placed the missing funds or property to personal use and benefit would arise. So, yan ho ay dala ng, yun na nga, loophole sa ating joint circular na 2015-01. Pero marami pang napag-usapan dyan kanina.
Attorney Chris, merong isa pa. While we're still under yung joint circular, it was also raised kanina during the cross-examination by Attorney Ferrer, by Attorney Christine Ferrer, no? The item about the handling of the audit documents by the House of Representatives, to which Attorney Kapunan objected to. With regard to that particular line of questioning ni Attorney Ferrer, How does that relate dun sa yung binanggit nila na committee findings?
Teka, yung una, yung endorsement, yung turnover.
Yes. Yung turnover muna. Yung turnover muna.
Usually,
is it
ano
proper
ang
ba daw?
significance? Usually,
Okay.
tanong nila, ano ang significance nito? Parang tinutumbok yata ng defense kanina yung gusto nilang questionin yung chain of custody. Yung chain of custody
Yes.
ng mga dokumento.
Yes.
Kasi bakit chain? Parang taning kalayan, mga kaibigan. So kung sino yung may mga hawak ng dokumento supposedly, dapat all accounted for kung kanino dumaan yan,
Yes.
sino ang custodian. Kasi para ma-assure supposedly na walang labis, walang kulang, o sinasabi nga ni Attorney Kapunan kanina during redirect, walang magic, hindi minagic in the process. So sa tingin ko, yun yung reason kaya nagtanong ang defense kaninang umaga on the chain of custody na in-address na naman ni Attorney Kapunan on redirect yung chain of custody. Pero ito lang ang aking opinion dyan, Mike. Ang chain of custody, medyo I don't think it's really applicable, the
Okay.
chain of custody doctrine, if what we're dealing with are official documents.
Yes.
Like liquidation or COA, na galing sa Office of the Vice President, na ibinigay sa COA, na naging subject pa nga yan ng committee hearings,
Yes.
na ngayon ay nasa impeachment tribunal na.
Right.
Pagka yung mga ganyang documents, official documents, hindi sa tingin ko dapat hindi applicable ang chain of custody. Dahil ang chain of custody, sa pagkakaalala ko, iyan ay applicable sa object evidence, not to
Okay.
documentary. So, example, object evidence, diba? Illegal drugs. So, halimbawa, simula nung na-confiscate yung illegal drugs na yan, saan ba tinago yan? Saan ba sinilid yan? Hindi ba yan nabawasan? Hindi ba yan napalitan? Hindi ba yan nahalo sa iba? Kasi sa drugs, importante ang quality at saka ang weight pagdating sa pagdetermine ng criminal liability. So dapat yung custody niyan, yung safekeeping niyan, all accounted for.
Yes.
That's why there's that chain of custody. Pagdating sa official documents, mag-usapan ba natin yung chain of custody? Ngayon pa na ang impeachment tribunal, it's not bound by strict rules of evidence na pag-usapan natin before.
Well, as you said yesterday, di ba, the Supreme Court already issued a ruling na wala na, di ba, in terms of yung mga petitions that were filed with the Supreme Court with regard to yung stoppage nitong impeachment trial, di ba?
Kumbaga, nag-hands off na. Yeah,
So bali wala na yon in terms of that point by the defense with regard to the handling of the
yes.
COA.
If you ask me,
documents.
mas pressing, mas material yung controversy involving the interpretation and application of the joint circular
Yes.
as compared to the chain of custody noong 4,492 documents na yan.
Yes.
So, yun yung aking pananaw dyan. So, okay na, napag-usapan natin yung resort to the Supreme Court. Napag-usapan din natin kanina na there was an admission on the part of Ms. Del Campo that the COA is not precluded from requesting additional supporting documents for their proper evaluation, notwithstanding the fact that they did not request for supporting documents for the identities of the persons in
Yes.
the acknowledgement receipts. And then,
Wala pang issuance of finality. Diba?
wala pang notice of final decision.
Notice of final
So
decision.
as of today yata, ang pagkakaintindi ko, wala pang notice of final decision pertaining to the 612.5 million in confidential funds, mga kaibigan. There was also mentioned that there's no findings that the Vice President's Special Protection Group, VPSPG, received rewards or payments for information. Kasi bakit na pag-usapan to? On redirect, naalala ko, tinatanong kung yung mga
Yung allowable na mga expenses.
yung security group ni VP Sara,
may separate
may
budget
sariling
pa dapat
budget na yan. Hindi na dapat sila gumagamit ng confidential funds dahil meron silang sariling budget. Dahil nga hiwala yon, kumbaga. Ang sinasabi naman on recross, it was elicited from Ms. Del Campo. The Commission on Audit, they did not have any findings that the security unit for the Vice President received rewards or receive payments for information from the Office of the Vice President nor from the Department of Education. What was also further elicited is that the confidential funds, it was approved by the Office of the President in 2022 and then approved by Congress through the General Appropriations Act in 2023. And then Ms. Del Campo also confirmed that there were certain intelligence-related activities of the Office of the Vice President earlier when she was being cross-examined by Attorney Ferrer. Mapapansin natin mga kaibigan, no? Wala pa rin kung ano yung bulto ng tinanong kay Attorney Wamil nung nakaraan. Siya pa rin yung issue nung tinanong kay Ms. Del Campo ngayon.
Yes.
Yun yung Joint Circular 2015-01.
Yes.
So kung akong tatanungin, para sa Article 1, hindi dapat mag-rely lamang ang prosecution sa prima facie presumption na dala ng Section 8.3. Kasi doon sila humuhugot failure of the AO to liquidate any public funds upon demand, it gives rise to the prima facie presumption of personal use.
Yes.
Kailangan mas maganda, may direct evidence sana ng personal use. May direct evidence. Yun yung conclusive. Even the law on malversation in the revised penal code, the prima facie presumption, that's not the only way of proving that malversation was committed. Although it's, by nature, we mentioned, it's committed clandestinely. Mahirap patunayan yan. That's why there's such a prima facie presumption. Pero it can still be proven by direct evidence. It's not impossible to prove it by direct evidence. And with the tons of witnesses they have.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, Attorney Chris. With regard to the upcoming trial dates, they stated already, before ending today's hearing, that the next lineup of witnesses will be yung mga disbursement officers.
Yes.
From the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education pertaining to yung time ni Vice President Sara Duterte as the concurrent Secretary of the Department of Education.
Yes.
So, possible yun na yun yung magiging line of questioning ng prosecution
Kung paano
to I guess find through testimony statements based on
saan
the
dinala
knowledge.
yung pera.
Yes.
Saan dinala? Kasi, mga kaibigan, ang Commission on Audit, borrowing their term, they only perform supposedly compliance audit, pero yun na nga, mayroon tayong problema sa mga interpretation ng joint circular na yan.
Yes.
Mas precise. Inaasahan natin na mas tutok o mas direct yung evidence kapag ang magsasalita na, ang gigisahin, kumbaga, ay yung special disbursing officers ng Office of the Vice President nung panahon na yon na si Ms. Acosta at saka ng Department of Education nung panahon na yon si Mr. Fajardo. Pero bago yata sila isa lang, ang mauna si Ms. Pareha ng taga-House of Representatives. I think this has something to do with the records of the committee hearings. So she might be testifying on those muna. After that, si Ms. Acosta and then Mr. Fajardo. And if you still have time, next week, I think subpoena might be issued to Mr. Lemuel G. Ortonio, who was, I'm not sure if he still is, the Assistant Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President.
Yes.
So, yun. Ano pa? Napag-usapan din yung Rule 18, mga kaibigan, of the impeachment trial rules.
Yes.
Montik na silang mapalo ni Senator na presiding officer mo talagang servo na sila.
This was following yung statement ni Attorney Sison, right? She was saying that mali daw yung ginawa ng one of the private prosecutors in terms of making statement on social media kaninang umaga.
Actually, nabasa nung tayo ay nanonood kanina bago nag-lunch break, nagbukas ako ng social media. Actually, napasadahan ko rin yun sa mga ibang news outlets. No? So, parang inisip ko, in the middle of, di ba? Anyway, mga kaibigan...
Pero pinagbabawal yun, that's very clear.
Pinagbabawal yun at sinight muli ng ating presiding officer ang Rule 18 ng impeachment trial rules ng Senado, na saan sinasabi na the presiding officer, members of the Senate shall refrain from making any comments and disclosures in public pertaining to the merits of a pending impeachment trial. So whether misleading or leading questions are allowed, that pertains to the merits of a pending impeachment trial. But it does not only limit itself to the presiding officer and to the members of the Senate. The same shall likewise apply to the prosecutors, to the person impeached, and to their respective counsel and witnesses. Nabanggit din po namin last time na pag-usapan natin itong Rule 18 na to. Kaming dalawa po ni Mike, hindi po kasama rito. No? So, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, pwede po kaming magdaldal, magbigay ng komentaryo. We try to keep it as objective as possible, balanced as possible.
And again, these are just our commentaries based on how we have viewed, listened to the impeachment hearing in terms of statements of the witnesses, documents presented, and how the questions are being delivered.
It's a summary, basically. We're providing a commentary, a summary as well. Instead of watching for the impeachment process for 6 hours, 5 hours, you just have to watch us for a few minutes.
Yes.
And again, we're proud to say that of all the news outlets, I think it's the Manila Times only who has been consistent in providing for explainers or commentaries for each impeachment trial day starting from day 1.
Correct.
So day 14 na tayo ngayon, mga kaibigan. So 14 na explainers na ho yan. At meron pa ulit kami sa Lunes, alas 10. August 17, that would be our day, Day 15. Day 16 tayo sa Lunes, mga kaibigan. So, yun lang ang aking naisulat sa notes, Mike. Okay na ako.
I think that's it for Day 15. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us at the Manila Times. Live coverage and commentaries of the Senate impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Once again, I'm Michael Ang, joined by Attorney Chris Gargantiel, and we will see you again on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.